Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Second Life event, podcasting live on Facebook. And excited to have everyone here, and excited to have everyone joining us on this education session. Just give it a minute or two while we expect other people joining. Please, if you're just joining, go ahead and share this session. Share as much as you can while we get started. Again, if you're just joining, please go ahead and share this live while we get started. Today we're going to be talking about IT opportunities, careers, and everything tech. If you're just joining, let me know where you're joining from. Today, we're going to be talking about IT careers and opportunities in North America, Africa, Europe, and Asia. This will be an hour session from 5 to 6 p.m. GMT with two wonderful guests joining us today. Again, please, if you're just joining, share this live session as much as you can. Sharing this session will encourage people who are interested in this topic to join the session and share with us the knowledge behind the program so far. Today, we're going to be talking about IT careers and opportunities in North America, Africa, Europe, and Asia. It is very important for us to diagnose some of the key points when we talk about IT opportunities, IT careers, and the education platform in IT. Please let us know where you're joining from. Dear viewers and engagers, again, thank you for joining today's live session on IT careers and opportunities in North America, Africa, Europe, and Asia. I host this session every fortnight, every 2 weeks on Fridays at 5 p.m. GMT. And for today's session, the goal is to orientate and guide ourselves on the possible IT careers and opportunities that are out there. Also, we are aiming at encouraging the youth in making better and flexible career choices. We also will be reminding our men and women joining us from all over the world what it takes get into the IT field. Of course, it's not too late. Whether you're young, whether you're old, it's not too late to join this exciting field of technology. Of course, IT is the big game. It's a game changer. Everything today runs on technology. If you're joining and you're a French speaker, bon après-midi, bonsoir à vous qui nous rejoignent à partir de l'Afrique, bonsoir à vous qui nous rejoignent à partir de l'Europe. Notre programme aujourd'hui sera de technologie. On parlera de tout ce qui veut dire technologie. Our program, of course, will be mainly in English, but you're more than welcome to ask questions. Post your questions in French if you understand this subject. Post your questions in French, and I'll do my best to answer in French, of course. So good afternoon, good evening for those joining us. Good morning to those joining us from Arizona. Good afternoon for those joining us in the East Coast. If you're in the East Coast, of course, good afternoon. Good evening if you're joining us from the most parts of Africa. If you're joining us from Kenya, if you're joining us from Ivory Coast, if you're joining us from Cameroon, you're joining us from Nigeria, good afternoon, good evening. And I hope you make the best out of this session. My name is Gerard GW, commonly known as GW, and I'm your host of this Tech Talk. Currently, I'm an IT specialist. I am an IT instructor, and I'm also in the US Navy. Joining us today are experienced techies. We will have one of the social media favorites, Anita Makori, who is a data scientist at SEMA Africa from Nairobi, Kenya. She will be joining us. She is a triple scholarship award recipient and the lady who has mastered the science and the engineering parts when we talk about graduate schools admissions in the UK after receiving admission in top universities like Oxford University, Cambridge, and of course the University of London. So we will be hearing her journey. She will share her journey, her insights, some of the insights, how she planned her pathway to grad school and the opportunities behind her data science career. Next, we will have the tech guru himself. We are talking about no other person but Primus Veku. Primus will be joining us from the US. Currently, he's the founder and CTO behind Primus Learning, and also Primus Cloud Solutions. We will hear his experience, since he's currently an IT instructor, an IT consultant, and the chief technology officer behind Primus Cloud Solutions. We'll try to find out from Primus on careers in IT, and of course, if it is possible for us to get started in technology, depending on how far we are, if we are in the business field, if we are in the medical field, is it possible to, and of course, how far we can go in the IT field. So before we get our guest, let us look at some of the possible IT careers and around the globe, since that's why we are here. Of course, again, just to remind our viewers that this session covers everything technology, although our main topic is on IT opportunities and careers. You're more than welcome to ask your questions during this session. Please post your questions, share this live session as much as you can, so that other people who are interested in this topic can also it can reach out to them, and they will also benefit from it, learn something new. So when we talk about IT careers in America, Africa, Europe, and Asia, we're talking about some of the outcomes you intend to accomplish uh, when you study in the IT field, whatever program you decide on taking, and wherever you intend to explore some of the options that are available for you. So careers in IT we are focusing mainly on the some of the most important, and when I say important, I'm not talking about high paid versus low paid. I'm just talking about the popular career options that are out there. So let's take a look at some of these popular options that are here. The leading career choices that are out there in the field will you most commonly see careers in software, web, and application development. We will also see a software support specialist and help desk support, which is very common nowadays in everywhere. Of course, the heading there says some most popular IT careers in America, Europe, and Asia, but this also this is a generalized view on how the market of IT sells itself to the global world, right? And software development, web development, and application development is a big thing as far as careers is concerned, because most of the things we use, most of the, whether it's using our mobile phones, most of the applications we use are developed by application developers. So it's a big thing because a lot of people are switching from web development to application development, since people are more liable to use their mobile phones than accessing websites in order to get a particular service on or access a particular information. But this does not, however, take away the need for a website. So that is why web development is also at the top of the chart. And we look at software development. Software development basically handles the software that we run on a daily basis, whether it's the programs that we have on our desktops, whenever you launch like WhatsApp desktop and everything that comes with the software pack. The next IT career that we are looking at will definitely be the support specialist, help desk. This is more like a customer service. When we talk on IT, getting started in IT, this is the base. People with Comtia A+, this is where they usually start their careers. So support specialist, help desk support, it's very, very common because every organization is just like having a large customer base with no customer support. So IT support specialists, help desk support, they are the front desks that are like the receptionists in hotels. You see in hotels, but in this case, we're talking about in the IT industry. They are also the people that answer the phone call whenever you have laptop issues or application or support, anything that has to do with support. The next thing on the list, of course, is data science, data analysis, and database administration. The reason why database and data science is highlighted is because we do have someone joining us with a data science background, and we will learn a little bit about how the career path in data science works. The next thing is cloud architecture. Cloud architecture is becoming a game changer. That is why you see it's currently there is a green arrow at the top, because it's currently taking lead in when it comes to possible careers or important careers, valuable careers that you can select from when you are making the choice on which in the job market. And of course, we do have cybersecurity. Cybersecurity it's a big thing. Talks on cybersecurity wasn't that popular in the past. In the past, until we started getting the attacks from hackers and compromised systems became a big topic. So cybersecurity is also leading. That's why there is a green arrow, because it's one of the fastest growing career choice you want to lay your hand. So definitely an option, definitely something that's very, very popular, and industries are currently hiring cybersecurity analyst specialist. DevOps engineering is DevOps engineer. Having a DevOps engineer in your environment, deliver your products, and you want DevOps engineers to come in. So that's why DevOps engineer, and it's a big thing right now. Of course, admin and systems engineer is because work in systems administration, systems engineering for network admins, network engineers are becoming low, because giving you an opportunity to put your systems or run your applications on the cloud. So let's look at how the market says in Africa. In Africa, some of the most popular IT careers we talk of remains software, web, and application development still leads the chart, because we are at an age in technology in Africa where a lot of opportunities, a lot on the web. Applications are heavily being developed. We're talking about financial technology, we're talking about the possibility of having transactions and everything that comes within. So data science. Data analysis is a big thing in Africa, of course. So if you're making your choices on what career to go in Africa, you want to look into data analysis. Network systems admin, systems engineering it's leading in Africa because the cloud base is not as popular. So a lot of people still run their systems on-prem, and they are actively hiring network admin. And for network, the thing with network engineering is our network admins in Africa has been highly popular is because sometimes a lot of these network admins, network engineers find themselves doing camera installations, like they are actually network systems admins in their respective field. Ground in Africa, and it's something that you also want to consider. Is the end of the some of the guests for today's show. Bring in our first guest. Our first guest will be Primus from the US. He currently trains over hundreds of. Bring you onto the scene. Sorry. Hi, Primus. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Excited to be here.
That I'm talking about your birthday because I notice a lot of your pictures on WhatsApp statuses. So happy birthday, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So first, tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
All right, I'm Primus and the CTO of Primus Cloud Solutions. I've been in the IT space for a while, in IT. And I've worked as the leading IT firms as far as new technologies are concerned. Primus Learning is a company that is aimed at revolutionizing education as far as IT training is concerned, hands-on practical training. I usually the careers current learning is to train people with those practical skills that I currently do not talk about IT jobs in terms of locations. The global aspect. IT careers now are very global. Wherever you are, in Cameroon, in Kenya, train people wherever they are and help them get access to that IT money. And then Primus Cloud Solutions is all engineering, cloud computing in general. The Western world has embraced it, and most organizations, it's an opportunity of data engineering. You see the revolution of big data. You see the revolution of data science in general, because they are able to store those huge volumes of data in the cloud, coming of cloud computing. And so it's a heavy thing. And Primus Cloud Solutions, organizations that want to improve on this technology, on the way they are very interested by the subject, and that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Awesome. About your PhD being in cloud technology, and you're currently in the tech education business,
where you can literally do it without literature background, right, or an English background, a philosophy background. I came from a philosophy theology background, right. Able to grow in IT. Peculiar thing that you can grow, and it's all about the practical part of it. When a company is hiring you, they're hiring you to do a particular thing. So you need a particular skill set to be able to do that. One of the things you'll be hearing of, DevOps engineering, which you mentioned, there's cloud architecting, which you mentioned. Those are some of the things. Data engineering, those are some of the practical things that we teach people. And how do we teach people? We give you the skills and help you to do the exact thing that you'll be doing at your job, because organizations are looking for people who can automate their processes and help them get, release software quicker in the market, make processes easier for organizations. With the coming of COVID, so many people do not want to be manually doing things. They want to just automate things and have them run. We teach you those new technologies that will help you become a better DevOps engineer. And literally, when you are a good DevOps engineer, for instance, you can be in Cameroon and work anywhere in the world. If you're a good cloud architect, you can be in wherever you are and have a job anywhere. You can be a good data scientist and be anywhere and work for any company. So it's about the skill set, the practical skill set. And our organization, Primus Learning, is just helping people get to that point where they can literally say, hey, I have this specific skill set. There are a lot of people who are very traditional, who have done cloud information technology, who have done computer science, but they are so traditional that they don't have practical skill sets. They have everything, general skill sets. They know the concepts, they know the theories and all that, but they do not have that particular thing. Those are some of the things we're trying to help people give them the skills that will help them get access to the recent jobs, to those jobs that are popular, as you mentioned, in the marketplace.
Exciting stuff going on at Primus Learning. Back again to Africa, of course, because your PhD it's more centered towards Africa. We do have limitations. Some of the viewers texted me a couple of minutes ago talking about the limitations such as internet bandwidth and limitation accessing services online or running cloud. Knowing that cloud is web-based and it needs reliable internet connection, how do we tend to close the gap in this aspect?
Right, there is internet ever, right? So as far as Africa is concerned, there's that limitation which is taken into consideration when we're talking about cloud adoption. Most of the things that I've rather seen when it comes to hesitations in cloud adoption have been security issues. Many people and organizations in Africa are like, hey, will I just put my data out there? And there are cybersecurity issues that affect a lot of people. But of course, cloud technologies and cloud providers have robust systems that are put in place that help overcome some of those challenges that are out there. But as far as internet connectivity is concerned, the organizations that have connectivity using different providers in Africa. You have MTN, you have Orange and others. There are so many others out there, and of course there is Elon Musk who is revolutionizing that internet space, right? With his company out there is Starlink. I think it's becoming something, and most organizations that are out there who have reached that level of adopting cloud, right, are able to secure themselves that kind of connectivity that permits them to connect to the internet and use services in the internet. So I think it's not a big problem as far as organizations are concerned, but as far as maybe individuals are concerned, that's where you begin to see some of those limitations. But I think as things evolve, as things go on, there's possibility that Africa will be a great space for cloud computing.
It is already, because when you look at some of the opportunities in Africa, it surprises you to see cloud technology being required, and you get to ask yourself that, but I thought this was a limitation. I thought internet was a limitation. And coming to the conversation about the revolutionization by tech gurus, we have Elon Musk, for example. I remember there was an issue back in Africa, I think that was in Nigeria or which part of Africa, and he openly posted that he's available to distribute the Starlink technology for a couple of time. So that's a great point, of course. But I know you're on this next question, you've been basing heavily on cloud technology, but I still want to ask, right? So on-prem hosting versus cloud hosting, where's the tech market today, and where are we headed to?
Yeah, so I think the tech market is as far as when I'm talking about careers, I'm usually very passionate because that's what we do, right? I have this model that I've put together. Um, uh, when we meet again, I shared it on WhatsApp with you. When we meet again, I'll share that model. It's basic diagram which kind of shows the transition from traditional computing to a kind of model that is recent. I termed it somewhat a new model of careers in IT, right? And you discover that things are transitioning gradually. Roles that used to be very traditional are gradually moving towards something else, and so the job descriptions are changing. You could be, maybe you were doing a systems engineering at first. Currently, you could find yourself being described as a DevOps engineer because maybe you've added a couple of things to your skill sets, right? A couple of tools in your skill sets. And so things are changing gradually, and roles that used to be very traditional on premise are gradually moving to the cloud. And that's why you see that growth. I saw the green arrow on your diagram there. That's very indicative of what I'm saying, right? So
Yeah.
things are changing a little bit towards cloud computing. Most organizations even host their servers, things that used to run on premise in the cloud. And so careers are gradually shifting towards the cloud space. When it comes to data engineering, you hear of data engineers that can operate very well in the cloud. You hear of database administrators that can operate in the cloud. So you'll be hearing of maybe Azure database administrators, RDS administrators, or databases that are hosted in AWS, and so on and so forth. You hear of architects who are no longer just architecting solutions on premise, but they're architecting solutions that are in the cloud. You hear of data scientists who are building models and stuff, mostly in the cloud space. They store the data in the cloud. They're able to work on the cloud. And once you do that, your title changes a bit, your money increases a bit, and that's just what cloud computing is offering, and there's really a shift as far as careers are concerned. Um, from traditional to the current roles that we have.
Awesome, awesome. Of course, you've highlighted on this, and I kind of share a similar experience because, in like you said, in fields like database, we now see a turn from regular database administrator to a combination of systems and database, and calling it systems reliability engineer. So you see, when this posting comes out, you see job description goes as, we need someone with Oracle database, SQL Server database, Postgres database, someone with AWS, someone with DevOps experience, and you kind of ask yourself that who is filling all this role. But you've touched on insights, right? You've touched on insights on cloud technology and everything. So tell us a little bit about your training and how your training goes.
All right. So our training is basic. It's about 7-8 months kinds of trainings. Where there are some programs that we're pushing to a year now. Because we really want people to be very solid as far as their skill sets are concerned. Sometimes you train people, they're out there and they always need help, which is not beneficial to anyone, right? And so our training is 6 months. We usually do it online and on site. We have we have locations in Cameroon, in Boya, in Douala. So we have 2 on-site locations out there. But here in the US, we train online, so Zoom meetings in the evenings, 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. Eastern. So we accept learners from everywhere, all over the world. We currently have different batches. There's a batch that I think will be starting September, October. So that it's a 7-8 months kind of program. We train you with the practical skills and help you with resume building, help you with interview preparations, and help you even when you get the jobs, right? We have different, as you must have noticed, we have different services that we offer as far as that is concerned.
Yeah.
We have applications that we develop that are specifically meant to help our trainees, to build themselves up with the practical skills that we're talking about. So our training is basically hands-on kind of oriented. very practical training that we offer.
Yeah, which is similar to some of the modules that we see, and I always tell my viewers that between, if you ever ask me between a self-paced training and on live in-person training or in-person training, which one do I choose? And I always go with you need to be there. You need to be there in a cohort session, in a live session, whatever, whether it's on-site or online. But you need to work in a team. You need to participate. You need to see the instructor, get to ask questions, because that's what motivates you.
Exactly. When you're still starting off, right? It's very, very important that you kind of have that in-person connection. And then when maybe you've grown to a certain level, there are technologies that you can easily learn, because everything in IT is interconnected, and so it's easy for you to pick up when you're in there, you've worked, and you know exactly what you're looking for. You want to improve your skill set on a particular thing, you wanting to start off. It's really good to be in a space where you work together as a team, work with instructors and people who challenge you and give you the opportunity to keep going.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Primus. Just to remind our viewers that if you do have questions, to ask Primus, please go ahead and put that in the comment section. We will get back to Primus sometime later on, after getting to meet with Anita. Thank you so much for joining us, Primus. Please just hang on for a few minutes while we talk to Anita.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
So I'll turn over to our next guest, Anita Makori. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Of course, when you join, you will get to hear the pronunciation of it. Joining us from Nairobi, Kenya, the Triple Scholarship Award recipient, and what else? Let me. I need to drink water before going forward with your introduction, Anita. So yeah, the Triple Scholarship Award was mastered. Of course, I always say you've mastered the science behind grad school. When you're a content creator, you are ever doing, right? You got 3 admissions from top universities in the UK. We talk about Oxford University, Cambridge, and University of London. Viewers, if you notice, the viewers are increasing. They want to know, they want to hear this experience, how an African was able to secure this opportunity. This is why we are here. This is why the viewers are joining us. So first of all, Anita, welcome to the live session. Thanks for taking time off your busy schedule to share your experience. Tell us about yourself and what you currently do, please.
Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Anita Makori. You pronounced it very well. And I am from Kenya. I'm 24 years old. And currently, I'm a health data scientist at the Center for Epidemiological Modeling and Analysis, which is based at the University of Nairobi. And in a few weeks now, I will be starting my master's in international health and tropical medicine at the University of Oxford as a MasterCard Africa Oxford Initiative Scholar. Yeah. And I'm also a mentor. I'm also a content creator, as you mentioned. Yeah, and I wear many hats.
I almost said I was gonna say you're one of the people who pushed me into creating content, but I'll be lying, because I got to find out about you. What you do and everything. We connected on LinkedIn. It makes sense to see young individuals from Africa in particular moving towards tech-related fields, filling out these roles, involving themselves in research. And I know I'm reading at one comment here from one person. This is someone who just had his PhD, and I know he did a lot in engineering research on battery and energy and everything. So it makes proper sense, right? So on the journey from a young Kenyan girl to data science research assistant, bagging admission from 3 top universities, I always like to emphasize that, and 3 fully funded scholarships, right? Walk us through the process, Anita.
The process is a very long one. but I would try and make it brief. So I did my undergraduate and graduated in 2020. I did a Bachelor of Science in Epidemiology and Biostatistics. And upon graduation, I sought internship opportunities. So I used to write cold emails to principal investigators who are doing research interested in. And in that way, I was able to connect with a professor and get an internship from their research team. And that is how I got my first data science internship. And then after my internship, I was promoted to a research assistant and then now to a data scientist. So I would say in that regard, I reached out to people persistently, and then I was able to grow in my data science skills, in my data analytics skills, especially in health, because as I mentioned, I'm a health data scientist. And that is how I was able to grow to where I am now. And then in terms of bagging those many admissions and those many scholarships, they didn't always come. They weren't always there. I started applying for schools back in 2020, and I got rejections for everything I applied for in 2020. And then in 2021, I applied again and I got admissions to Oxford and to Glasgow, but I did not get any funding. And because I could not afford to fund myself, I had to let go of that and then apply again in 2022. So now this time I applied to 3 schools and 10 scholarships. And out of those, I was able to get accepted into the 3 schools I applied for and to get 4 scholarships. So I would not say that it was a one night thing, like an overnight success, but it's just that most people don't know the backstory of the number of rejections I had to go through to get to where I am now. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Highlighting on some of these rejections simply talks about a story of perseverance, right? And it's a lot of things. It's one of these aspects that youths, African youth in particular, tend to shy away from, right? I've had the chance to work with graduates, in any respective field. And it's funny to realize that some people don't even have resumes. Some people don't have what we call CV in Cameroon, curriculum vitae, of course. Some people don't have like a mapped out program on what they want to be, what they are looking for. We see these opportunities out there, but if you tell somebody, hey, what do you have to put in for this opportunity, they don't even have an Excel. They don't even know how to launch the Excel program on your computers. So, but when we go back to your high school days and we take a look, what has been your greatest motivation so far?
Okay, thank you. So I think my greatest motivation for me is my own dreams. I usually tell people that I have such big dreams that sometimes they scare me. So one of them was going to study at the University of Oxford. And now that I'm going there, this just speaks that there's no dream that is too big. So clearly they are achievable. But yeah, my biggest motivation is that I have such huge expectations of myself. And so I usually set such high goals and big dreams that I always consistently work towards achieving. And even though I may not achieve them immediately, I still persistently go at it. So my biggest for me is making myself proud and achieving my very big dreams. Yeah.
Awesome. Talking about achieving dreams, I remember stumbling on one note. An elderly person had one written. It was a letter from a daydreamer, right? The letter was to himself, regretting on all the opportunities that he has missed in his life. This was a letter from a 50-something-year-old person. So just getting your story kind of touched in and helps us correct these mistakes we sometimes make in life. Let's go back to tech, right? Women in technology, girls in technology, you are getting there. Popular data reports women make up 33% of tech-related workforce, and only about 3% are Black. What's your take on these statistics, and how do you see opportunities for women in tech-related fields?
Okay. I think, especially in Africa, I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but I'll speak for Kenya. we've commonly had in the past, we've had careers that are meant for boys in quotes and careers that are meant for girls. So growing up, you'd find that girls would be directed to certain careers that are away from tech, and boys would be directed towards careers that are towards tech. But I'm glad with recent days, we are starting to discover that careers are not gender defined, and that each of us have different talents, have different gifts, and we can excel in whatever field we choose in. So what I would say is that we are actively trying to bridge this gender gap in tech, and I'm glad that we have initiatives that are working towards that. Earlier, when I introduced myself, I mentioned that I'm a mentor, and so some of the mentorship work I do is to encourage young girls from high school and campus to pursue non-traditional career paths for women. So career paths that initially were thought to be not for women. So I'm glad that with recent events, we are able to start bridging that gap. And I would like to say that for anyone who would like to come into STEM careers, for any girl who would like to be a girl in STEM, just know that there's always a table for you in the table. And if there's always a chair for you in the table. And if the chair is not there, pull yourself a chair and join the conversation. As long as you believe you can succeed in it and you're interested in tech, then just go for it. All these opportunities are yours to take. Yeah.
That is a very inspiring point, of course, because we tend to see a lot of women, especially in Africa, just as we mentioned, moving towards the nursing healthcare field because they assume that that's the right field for them. That's just what they should be doing, right? Taking care of people just like they take care of their households, just like they take care of their siblings. But getting to understand, knowing that a lot of people who move from the nursing field who leave Africa with nursing degrees, they don't actually get to use this nursing degree. The second thing is that we should get into the comfort of having conversations that sometimes this nursing wherever you have to, when you come for a certification in nursing, when in Africa, when you come to the US, make their own certification program because we're talking about saving lives. So thanks for highlighting on this. And the last question I have, what are some of the opportunities, scholarships, and competitions you encourage youth in Kenya and Africa in general to look out for?
Okay. So there are so many opportunities out there, and not just to go study in the UK, but to study anywhere that you'd like to study in the world. And I usually say that resources exist. It's just that people are not willing to go the extra mile that you need to go to access them. So a very good resource I would mention is the internet, and knowing how to use the internet well, because there are so many websites that are curated to share opportunities. Like a good website is called Opportunities for Africa, which literally shows opportunities for Africans. So be it school opportunities, be it job opportunities, and it's worldwide opportunities you can get on there. So, and then LinkedIn is also a good resource because you find on LinkedIn, you even get to connect with mentors, with people who are already in the field that you want to pursue. So you can talk to them and get to have interactive conversations and learn from them. Even though they may not be able to give you opportunities at that time, you're able to learn from them. So LinkedIn is a good resource. And then we have this, just go online and search. And then literally, I usually tell people that and they say it sounds too simple. But if you go online and search for opportunities, you'll be able to get them. Because that is how I got some of the school opportunities I applied for. And then social media, using social media well. Because there are so many content creators who produce content in terms of opportunities, in terms of school, in terms of scholarships, like what you're doing here. So this just shows that social media is a very powerful tool getting information on opportunities that are out there.
Yeah, it is. And when you try to convince the young people to keep aside gossip and follow platforms like this, like yours, of course, I've included your YouTube handle on the screen for people who want to connect with you and learn more about the various programs you've gone through and the mentorship, whatever mentorship program you are into. So thank you so much for joining. I will just stay back, and if there's any question for you from the comment section, of course we'll take them. Please, if you do have questions, if you do have anything at all you want to ask our guests, please feel free to. Of course, we're coming to the end of this live session. More live sessions will be in the future. And I also want to recertain this one thing, right? When I reach out to any of my guests on this session, I was very, very, very worried in terms of the busy schedule. But especially a great thanks to Anita for joining. Special thanks to Primus for joining. Anita talked about opportunities. Primus talked about opportunities, and when we turn to look at these opportunities, there are a lot of opportunities. Just like Anita said, there are a lot of opportunities in Africa. It must not just be in Europe. It must not just be in UK. Of course, when we have a leading tech market, that's why people like Elon Musk have to move from their country to the US and so forth. So, but there are opportunities in Africa. We have opportunities from MTN. MTN Group currently have the graduate training program, which runs every year. The graduate training program is open for young, talented people who have, who have at least either you are enrolled in a degree program or you've completed a degree and you're enrolled in a master's program. So we have a lot of graduate programs out there that you can take advantage of, not just going out or wherever. Canada, please do so. And we also have opportunities like the ABB. These are opportunities that you can take advantage of. United Nation refugee. There is the United Nations of like a paid intern on data science, and this is a paid opportunity. So you always want to be. That's when we talk about opportunities in Europe and and America. There's a wide range of opportunities, right? If we start listing these opportunities, what I'll do is I'll include the opportunity in I will post a link of all the opportunities that we came across since we've come to the end of a session, and we will get this conversation in another session, but I'll include it. Links will be on it will be on my thread space. I will include every opportunity that is out there that I know of currently. So feel free to follow me on social on all my social handle. Also follow all the guests that have currently joined this session so far. That said, let me see if there are any questions out there. We do have comments from Wong Senior. He says, coding, computing, and IT are skills I will recommend because it is the nearest future. It is because in the nearest future you will need it. There is no escape. Make sure at least you have the basics. This actually reminds me of what I had on one of my PowerPoint but just because we don't have the time. To compete in the global market, wherever you are, you must or you should learn and have these skills. I talked about systems and networking skill. I talked about basic coding and programming skill, and I talked about basic data analytical skills. When you take a look at the session we just went through, now you realize that or data and analytics. So you want to make sure you get started on opportunities like this. Let me see if we do have any questions from individuals joining. Currently, we don't have questions. Yep, no questions. So thank you so much. We've come to the end of this session. Next session will be in 2 weeks. Of course, I will make sure I notify everyone who will be joining. Thank you so much, Primus, for joining this session. I sincerely appreciate your time and effort. And of course, whenever there is something out, I'll reach out to you on possible, career options. And if someone needs your link or your how to get to you, I will definitely share that with you. If no other question, let me see. We do have one extra comments here. Okay, so no question. No other question. We've come to the end of our live show. I just also to let you guys know that sometimes we take our time from it's currently 1 p.m. my time, 2 p.m. my time to be specific, and we had to take out some lunch time in order to make these sessions possible. So I strongly plead on you guys. Next sessions or any other sessions we have coming up, please make sure you share this live, invite others to join about tech career and opportunities, because it is highly needed for not just you, not just yourself, but also for your siblings. You tell them, you want to be able to advise them, you want to be able to encourage them on possible career. Let's take a rendezvous for next session. Thank you so much.